Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flake Show. My name is Chris Wong. Big news dropped today, and that is going right into it. Geoff Johns is stepping down from Chief Creative Officer and President of DC Films, down a notch, a lot actually, and down to more of a writer and a producer role. Yeah, that's right. So that news is coming in today. The Hollywood Reporter has an exclusive on it. And like I said before, see how different news sites have exclusives for things. Not everybody knows that in advance. Although for this one, I gotta believe that this actually happened a while back now, and they're just timing it so it seems less of a surprise and less of a shock, less like a huge shakeup per se. So I believe this already happened for a while now, and they're just officially releasing it today. So basically, like it says, Geoff Johns, this is coming from The Hollywood Reporter, DC Entertainment President and Chief Creative Officer Geoff Johns, who went from authoring comic books to having a major hand in the making of movies and television shows based on famous heroes, is stepping down from his executive post and entering into exclusive writer-producer deal with Warner Brothers and DC. Johns is launching Mad Ghost Productions, a new banner that will see him work on content for films, television, and comic books, and have his hand in current DC properties as well as new and reimagined creations. At the same time, current DC Entertainment publisher Jim Lee, will assume the Chief Creative Officer position, taking on the duties while continuing to act as publisher with Dan DiDio. The two have jointly held the post since 2010. So this move comes in the wake of last week's exit of Diane Nelson, so we'll see if any more than that. But it's very interesting because this occurs the day before a judge's decision will be announced in the high-profile antitrust trial between the U.S. Department of Justice and AT&T, which is seeking to merge with Time Warner, the parent company of both Warner Brothers and DC. That's going to happen tomorrow, or by the time you see this, today. Well, I'll tell you more about that later on, but it also takes place as Warner Brothers movie division is in the midst of a transition, as Walter Hamada, who was installed as president of DC-based films in the studio by Warner Brothers Pictures Group chairman Toby Emmerich in January, begins to shape the superhero slate in the post-Justice League era. So right now, Johns, I'm going to just go in a summary. Pretty much, Johns is now leaving the executive ranks. He's no longer an executive. He's going to go back to what he loved, what he grew, pretty much built his role in, and that is writing. He's a talented writer. He's wrote a lot of stuff, okay? He's very good at writing, and I think that's his strength. That's where his creativity lies. I think he's better at that than being like a leader or an executive role, a business person. So I think this is a great thing for all parties, and I'm actually quite happy for him because I think he's more comfortable in that arena, and I think him being comfortable in that arena is a positive for us because he'll be writing for movies, and directors will look at those writings and make screenplays and scripts out of it, and then the producer's going to do that, and the director is going to direct those movies. So, or work with the directors, like how Patty Jenkins is working with him right now. But it's more, I think it's better this way, and I think this will shape up to be a pretty great future for him over at the Mad Ghost Productions. So it is really cool. And one of the biggest things for me is his projects, right? We already know he's worked on Aquaman, he's worked on Wonder Woman 84, and it says here that he is part of the Shazam thing, but I could not find his credit anywhere. He maybe is behind the scenes, but one of John's first projects will be Green Lantern Corps. Yeah, based on DC's intergalactic police heroes, which he's already very familiar with. Like I said yesterday, he made some fantastic Green Lantern stories. Okay, he's been spending 9 years writing Green Lantern comics and its spin-offs and publishing events. John will write the screenplay and act as one of the producers on that feature film. He's already writing and producing, like I said, Wonder Woman 2. You have co-writing, executive producing credit to Aquaman, this year's only DC offering, which is set to open in December. Toby Emmerich had talked about Geoff Johns and everything, and Jim Lee has talked about Geoff Johns as well. So, likely they're trying to make it a good thing out of this, having him stay, demote in this. It is a demotion because you're coming from an executive rank to a more like a worker rank, but and I think this is a better deal for him in any way. So it's part of that whole thing that happened after Justice League. I think it was already done. Remember when he had put up the header of the Hulk, the angry Hulk? We figure it could have been Diane Nelson, but at the same time, it could have been Diane Nelson and him. Or even before that, when they said that he was going to take on an advisory role for a person who has a chief creative officer ranking title. And then all of a sudden, Kevin Tsujihara is saying, nope, he's going to be just an advisory role. That already says demotion, okay? But they just haven't really gave him an official title or had him doing whatever he needs to do. But I think everybody's getting happier with this. I know there's a lot of people, okay, not happy with him doing the Green Lantern movie. And they want to say, not Green Lantern, he did the Green Lantern 2011. Well, not really. He wrote some stuff, but they kind of, didn't use that. He is credited as a co-producer on it. But, Green Lantern 2011, you got 4 people to thank for that. It's pretty much Greg Berlanti, Mark Guggenheim, Michael Green, and what was the other guy's name? Michael Goldenberg, right? All these 4 there was too many people working on Green Lantern. It was just too much, and it didn't work well. But those 4, they've gone on to do great things. Okay, like CW, Logan, and there's so many different movies that these or even shows that these 4 have done. So it was a terrible time for all of us, even though I actually had fun with the Green Lantern movie, but it wasn't fantastic, it wasn't great, but it was, for me, it was I can still watch it. But they've gone on to do great things. I think Geoff Johns going to go do some great things, and I think this is a happy time for all parties, I believe. And it's nice that they've kind of put this together. And like I said, see how these things are just they're giving exclusives to different people. So there may be more exclusives later on that some insiders and sources have not even realized or cannot say because they weren't even given the exclusive. They have to check with their publicists and things like that. So more along the line. But Jim Lee's, everybody overlooked that. Jim Lee has been named Chief Creative Officer and President of DC Entertainment. That is exciting. He is, I know they kind of say it's temporary, but I hope he stays. I would have had him or Jay Oliva. I think this is a fantastic thing. If you remember, Jim Lee was the one who came out and says Zack Snyder was not fired from Justice League, so he put that down a bat, and he's drawn some amazing stuff, and he really likes Zack Snyder's work, so he's really in that court. So I think this is a great time for everybody. And it's hard not to notice all these different Asian people in Warner Brothers pictures. You got Walter Hamada, Chantal Nong, Kathy Yan, who's directing Birds of Prey. You also got Jim Lee, of course, I just said it, and James Wan. This is fantastic. Maybe Wong will be there one day. Look me up, DCEU ambassador. I'll take it, whatever. But that's all great, and this is huge news. The other thing was, what other happened today was Aquaman trailer was shown to attendees of Warner Brothers Cine Europe presentation earlier today. And in that article, they said that it's expected to be online sometime soon. Yeah, it's going to be online sometime soon, and how soon? They said in a few days, and that's amazing because we were thinking it's going to come out maybe Jurassic Park, but this week is Incredibles 2, so I guess they want to do the hero thing. But I am really excited for that because it's this year, and we haven't seen anything of it aside from the lucky few who've gone to Hall H, lucky few who's getting to CinemaCon. They got to see something, but we haven't. So I think this is a good sign that James Wan's saying, look, ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, and whoever, Studio 80i, who else was going to work on that, who worked on it, he probably saw the footage and said, yep, it looks great. It's time to release it. I'm happy with this. And I hear it's good. I hear there's some dizzying special effects and people are raving about it. So I am stoked to see Aquaman. Finally. You get to see something out of Aquaman. Like, this is going to be the first real undersea water city adventure, Lord of the Rings underwater. I don't know if you can, I may be overhyping it, but it sounds amazing, and I hope it is. I hope it really is amazing, knock your socks off type deal. And DCEU really needs that knock your socks off thing, right? So I'm hoping this is the case. As more things come out for San Diego Comic-Con, Aquaman's going to be a huge thing they're going to talk about, right? And I also said they're probably going to have something about Shazam, Wonder Woman 84, but looks like, I don't know now, because Green Lantern Corps, right? I just said Geoff Johns is working on Green Lantern Corps. Is he going to actually adapt any of David Goyer's work? David Goyer's work that he's been working on? Because David Goyer was supposed to do that movie. Is he going to strip that away and do something else? Well, maybe and maybe not. Because when you go to that Mad Productions, you go to that site, Mad Ghost Productions, he lists out 3 movies. He's got Aquaman. He's got Wonder Woman 84. He's got, I think he's got Shazam on there. Okay, so, and then he's got the most recent one, Green Lantern Corps. And in that little summary, it talks about Hal Jordan and John Stewart. So that seemingly is confirmed that the movie Green Lantern Corps, and it says Green Lantern Corps, but the rumor that it was going to focus on those 2 characters, possibly Hal Jordan mentoring a John Stewart, is actually pretty much confirmed because he is the writer and producer of Green Lantern Corps. So if you're happy about that, then yeah, it's a done deal. Now about the age thing, I don't know. I don't know if it's John Stewart still going to be a younger John Stewart with an older Hal Jordan. That still seems, still up in the air. Funny thing, just out of the, someone said that Michael B. Jordan would be perfect for John Stewart, and I was thinking, yeah, I think I'd like him better than like Tyrone or something, Tyrese. So I think Michael B. Jordan, he's spoiler, not in Black Panther anymore. So there's a lot. He's not in Fantastic Four anymore either. So there's some room over here in the DC side if you want to be, John Stewart. I think you could work that out, but. So Green Lantern Corps is coming out, so maybe we'll get a little bit more of that. I don't think anything too much, possibly some concept art or something like that, or just officially putting that on the slate as it is officially put on the slate right now, and I can't be more excited and happy for these things that are coming out. Now tomorrow is going to be really, really interesting. It's going to be quite huge, I think. First of all, it's the AT&T Time Warner merger, and this is a trial that's been going on since I believe November. What pretty much Time Warner wants to merge with AT&T, because they have that it's the data companies, like Netflix, Facebook. They want to get in onto that type of viewing, so that's why they want to merge. And I guess the DOJ sees that as kind of maybe they want to look into it more, and they want to make sure, even though it's like a vertical merger, what that means is the two companies combined, and they're not actually completely competing with one another. So usually they don't actually stop this kind of thing, but Trump and whatever the Department of Justice put a stop on it, and they're going to release their statement from the final decision rests entirely on Judge Richard Leon. His ruling will depend on whether he finds that the purchase would violate antitrust laws, which prohibit mergers or acquisitions that, within reasonable probability, are likely to lessen competition. So this is huge. This is huge because if he says no, there's no deal, then people get their jobs, would retain their jobs. But at the same time, it says yes, then there's gonna be a lot of changeover and shifts possibly within Time Warner Brothers Pictures themselves. So this is kind of interesting itself, and I'm wondering. That could be also part of the Geoff Johns move to have him in his own production company, so he's out of Warner Brothers and that whole Time Warner AT&T thing. I don't know. This could be all a business thing. I mean, it is a business thing. So that's going to be huge, and everything will change once we know if it's a yes or no, if they could proceed with the deal or not tomorrow. And that is tomorrow, June 12th, which coincides with, by the way, the anniversary, the 5th anniversary of Man of Steel release. And because of that release, I know Fiona was trying to get a date to do another hashtag release the Snyder Cut fan event, and I mentioned what about Man of Steel is coming out June 12th. We can do it then, that we can plan for it. It's a coincidence. I did not know this whole Time Warner AT&T merger was going to go down. So, kind of interested to. Tomorrow's gonna be crazy. I mean, it's gonna be nuts. First, we're gonna do the hashtag release the Snyder Cut fan event where we post pictures of DC properties and things like that, and hashtag release the Snyder Cut. And it's also celebrating Man of Steel 5th anniversary of release. And the AT&T Time Warner merger it's a huge deal. I mean, I'm kind of scared about it because this could really do colossal things for the industry in general, but for possibly whatever plans Warner Brothers has now. I mean, in a business sense, I'm wondering if a lot of their plans they haven't really officially revealed or what they're doing, and Walter Hamada is really a temp. Like, all this is because they don't know what's going to happen with this merger, and so they're kind of, not really forthcoming with their plans. And the other side is that I think they may have an idea what's going to happen with this merger, and so they're moving on with it. But in any case, it is going to be exciting, and also exciting possibly, and I'm refreshing my Twitter account because Fiona says there's something dropping possibly, if everything works out, tomorrow, and I'm really excited to see what that is. Okay, I'm really excited to see what that is. It's got to be something with the Zack Snyder. It's got to be something with the DC. So, and she even says things like, sometimes the good guys win, and that's actually from Kenny actually had mentioned it on Twitter that he replied back to her that he actually gave her that line or something, and so from Good Will Hunting, and I'm like, good guys will win. Well, she talks to Zack Snyder, so just putting two and two together, I don't know. I don't want to freak out, and I'm a little bit hyped, but sometimes the good guys win. News super soon. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. By the time you see this, it may have already happened. Maybe nothing happened at all. But hoping her timeline is correct and what she's going to release is correct. And if that's the case, man, we've got something really, really special coming today or tomorrow. And if it's June 12th today, I know she's on already. So I'm refreshing my Twitter just to see if anything happens with that. But in any case, DCEU is still moving forward with everything. By the way, don't mind that whole Ben Affleck Batman thing. I tweeted out and then I deleted it because apparently that one line came from Deadline, and what Deadline had said was Matt Reeves is. They're assuming Matt Reeves is rebooting the Batman and assuming that Ben Affleck is likely not to be the next Batman. They're based on nothing but assumption. Then Heroic Hollywood took that and ran with it, and other websites ran with it just to show it. Almost the headlines was like as if it was fact, and I took it down my own retweet because it was like it's not fact at all. It was an assumption and rather, very not real. It's not true. At least I don't think it's true, but it's very clickbaity, I guess you could say. Even Daniel R. says it's likely, meaning they don't know. So take that with a grain of salt. So they just assuming nothing really came out, and apparently Ben Affleck is still interested in being Batman, and Matt Reeves, we don't know what Matt Reeves is cooking. He hasn't said much about what he's cooking. So just continue waiting on that. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I think tomorrow is going to be the big thing. Tomorrow is like and if whatever happens tomorrow, more stuff will come out after that. I truly believe it's adding up to something. So anyway, I'm going to take 5 minutes. I promise you 5 minutes. What time is it now? Oh, yeah. Okay, 5 minutes to do the comment section. And I'm going to start from all the way at the bottom this time because I just realized someone said that I'm reading it wrong. I'm supposed to read the one lower because that's for the people who posted first. So I'm sorry if you posted later, but I'm gonna try to read the ones that posted first. I think that's fair. I think that really is fair. So yesterday we did the whole Warner Brothers DC story so far. Up right here, I don't know who this is. Okay, Fumanite says DC really needs to show stuff other than Aquaman at Comic-Con. I believe they are. They're gonna do Shazam, Wonder Woman 2. Black Joker, Suicide Squad 2. I'm going to not try to read too many of the reply comments because that's going to take a lot of time. But yeah, there's going to be a lot. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff. They're going to do a slate. We're going to see where the direction is. We're going to see what's really going on with that. Dobie says, I like these lengthy videos. I listen as I ride my bike or walk to and from work, and it makes the time go by. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad I can help you in that area. Rahul Karun, I'm here for mentioning my name in the last videos. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm reading comments now, so that's part of my thing. Let me try to get to some questions here. Most Strictly Hard House says most future DC movies will be good. All new directors are talented as F. When is the next JLO movie? I think they're not going to do any type of team up for a while, at least 4 or 5 movies. Suicide Squad 2 be probably a team up movie, but for a JL movie, depending if this is the way they're gonna go, is that they're gonna continue the solo type movies and then maybe a couple years down the line for the next JL. Don't quote me on that. San Diego Comic-Con could come out and they're like, we're gonna do Justice League Dark, we're gonna do Justice League Legion of Doom, and and I'll be totally wrong about that. But just seeing how they want to be more careful, I think they're not going to do a Justice League movie right away. Let's see. Love the show. Okay, thank you. Master Key, awesome video. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. I wanted to talk about this one a little bit. Wait, no. Where is it? Where'd it go? Phil Dawson, Warner Bros. DC Derangement Syndrome, Soft Finger. Thank you, Phil. Thanks for coming to every single video. You're like one of, even though you're a troll, but you're my biggest troll fan. Jerson, Malube, all the science hints Snyder's made for me. Snyder Cut will be released so soon. I would be mad if he didn't release it, by the way. Snyder made his personal theory. Hope you get invited there, Chris, and see Snyder Cut. Yeah, I hope I do. That would be great. If I'm in that area, I'm going to, hey, Zach, I'm in the area. Or at least I'm in California. Okay, think I can swing by? I'll have some Kona coffee for you and, chocolate macadamia nuts. Um, Geoff Johns only good at comics. Well, he's good at writing. I believe he's a good writer. And I think a lot of the like I am disappointed in the stuff that happened in Justice League, but I think there were a lot of different parties for to blame. I mean, he was the chief creative officer, so he was the lead of the creativity over it, and so he would have had to have final say over what Joss Whedon had done. But it was an interesting time. There was not much. He didn't have much time, and the studio itself gave some dumb mandates like 2-hour mandates, and not wanting to extend the release date because of the Time Warner AT&T deal. So a lot of factors involved in that. I think the best thing they could have done was just release it. If they were going to go to the point where it's like it's a lost lead, just do it, then I would have just released it, and then, if nothing comes up after the DOJ, whatever, the Time Warner merger, reboot it if you want. Reboot it if you want, but at least let Zach finish what he wanted to say what he wanted to say, show what he wanted to show, and that's the end of that. You already spent over 200, maybe even $300 million on it. Why put more into that by reshooting scenes that was already shot? You know what I mean? So, let's see. We need to roar, shout, and scream. Snyder Cut in Hall H. Let our voices drown out. Well, Wonder Woman 2, Aquaman, Shazam. We need to fix DCEU, which is Snyderverse. They're going to move on. And I think the way, if Snyder Cut comes out and things like that, it will be either an alternate or it could really still connect to the future movies. Well, Wonder Woman 2 is going to be a prequel again, right? Aquaman is set in its own kind of little universe in itself. Shazam is going to be more family friendly, kind of a set in its own thing itself. You could probably look at Shazam as a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to the Avengers. They're doing their own thing. It's still in the same universe, but it's more family friendly, I guess you could say, even though Justice League was also family friendly to say. So, John Wonder, you got it all wrong. I'm beginning to think you want to work against the DCEU with your false narrative. Man of Steel was always supposed to open an extended universe, and then he Screen Rant article. This finite, as you say, 5-part set of movies wasn't meant to be finite or like the Nolan formula. You keep pushing this Nolan narrative. The DCEU is more Snyder than Nolan. His DCEU movies have more in common with his previous movies like Watchmen. Snyder himself said Man of Steel was going to open conversation for Justice League and a shared universe. He said this while promoting Man of Steel. Yes. So, I think you got me all wrong, really, and it's kind of see that image you put of Wonder Woman and you're like all mad, but triggered apparently, but when I said was that Zack Snyder was going to, he was going to make a finite universe, meaning he was controlling the aspects of that. So he was going to have that whole Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League Part 1 and Part 2. Right? That's all he was going to work on. And then everybody else can pick up and do whatever they want from after that. And that's why he was going to let the Flash director he left it open for the Flash director to make their own Flash costume. But he was going to end it. That's all he was going to do. That's all he was going to do with that. So that's what I meant. And so it was like Nolan, where that's all Nolan was going to do, and Nolan was done. After the trilogy, he was like, I'm done. I'm done with that. So that's what I meant with that. I don't know if you Work against the DCEU? No, not really. The DCEU will be fine without me, I believe. So, in any case, I'm still looking forward to whatever the DCEU has with her. What happens after that. So, I am looking forward to tomorrow. And so, I think I'll end it with that. So, tomorrow is going to be a big day for a lot of people, including myself and a lot of the DCU fans, and even outside the world, because of the Time Warner AT&T merger. It's also the Man of Steel anniversary. And yes, if you're going to really, really want to support hashtag release the Snyder Cut, please do so. Go on your social media, get your DC photos up there, comic book panels, and with toys, DVDs, Blu-ray, video games, whatever. Put hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Show that you want the Snyder Cut and that you are also a DC fan. Or you don't have to be a DC fan. If you really want the Snyder Cut, you can do that as well. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Let's make some noise, folks. And be on the lookout for, I'm refreshing it again, see if Fiona says anything more. Nope, not yet. Okay, well, we'll see what happens tomorrow. So anyway, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.